Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. I am so excited about what we're going to talk about today. We're just going to dive in. I can't really even explain it because it's amazing. So I listened to a business coach named Myron Golden, and he teaches about business through a biblical perspective, which I absolutely love. And he's got two different YouTube channels. One is Bible Study with Myron Golden, and then the other one is just his regular channel where he talks more about business. But I love the perspective that he gives. And the other day I was listening to one of his videos, and he was talking about how the Bible is not actually a book of religion. It is a book of principles. It is a book of promises. It is a book of patterns. And when you read it that way, it shows up very differently. And so when I was listening to his YouTube the other day, I was in the car and I just said a little prayer. I just said, I'd really love to find one of those principles myself, because I do read the Bible daily. I have the Bible app and I have different Bible plans that I read. And I really I wanted to see what one of these principles actually was, because Myron talks about find a principle, test it, because the principles are laws of the universe. They're how things work. They're how the world is governed. And so I said, you know what? I really want to find one of these. And it was Saturday morning, and I got up and I was reading my Bible plan. And the verse that came up was Job chapter 22, verses 27 and 28. And 27 didn't really hit me, but it was verse 28 that struck me like a lightning bolt. And it says, "What you decide will be done. A light will shine on your ways." And I immediately perked up. I was like, oh, it's one of the principles. It's the thing, right? I was so excited, so excited, because I know from the life that I've lived, when I decide something, it comes to fruition. And that verse just supports it. What you decide on will be done, right? So the things that I have decided were going to happen. Now let's be very clear about the word decide. Decide does not mean choose. It does not mean want. It doesn't mean I have options, right? Decide quite literally means to cut yourself off from all other options. I was actually just having this conversation with my son at lunch, and I said, honey, you've got to decide. And he was like, well, I want to be a good golfer. I said, no, that doesn't get you to being a good golfer. Like that, being a great golfer, they don't want it, they decide it. And he asked, what do you mean? What's the difference? And I said, well, decide means to cut yourself off from any other option. It means this thing will be done regardless of what comes at you. It's when you have a very powerful conviction in it. You're like, nope, this is happening. Okay? For instance, I ran a marathon. I decided I was going to run a marathon, and I made that happen. I did a half Ironman. Decided I was going to run a half Ironman. I did that. The house that we live in currently, I decided that this was going to be the house that we lived in. And here we are. My Ph.D. Decided I was going to get my Ph.D. There was no other option. It wasn't, maybe I'll finish some of it, or maybe I'll do part of it, right? My coaching business. I remember having a conversation with my husband and deciding that my coaching business was going to make enough money to pay for the coach that I was working with at the time. I had made the decision and it came to fruition. and there was a light that shone on my ways. So I broke this down to mean, one, Steph, you've got to make a freaking decision, because every decision you make actually comes to fruition. So one, let's pay attention to that. Secondly, the second part of that verse says, a light will shine on your ways. To me, that means, again, this is my interpretation, this is how I read it. So I read it as, I decide something, and then each step will kind of illuminate along the way. I don't need to see the whole staircase, as the saying goes, right? I'll just get a little nudge or a little intuitive hit or a little suggestion, and this will be the thing that I do, right? And literally being guided, right? A light shining on your ways. My ways are being guided. And I thought, oh, this is the coolest thing ever, right? Like, I was so jazzed, so pumped that I had found this thing. And so I sat with it, because the verse says, what you decide on will be done. And I sat with it and I said, okay, what do I want that I'm afraid to decide on? Because everything I've decided has come to fruition. So what is the fear that's coming up here in terms of this decision? Why am I struggling to make a decision? Why am I just sitting on the fence, hanging out, being like, well, I want this, but not actually committing to it? And so I sat with that. And as I was journaling, I realized that there were some decisions I was struggling to make because of judgment from outside. People outside of me judging me for the decision. And I sat with it a little bit longer. And I really coached myself through this, saying, okay, so are we going to settle for mediocrity, which is what some things in my life feel like, right? Are we going to settle for mediocrity, or are we going to decide on greatness? Are we going to decide to live life and to live it to its fullest, or are we just going to sit on the sidelines, just kind of watch everybody else live the thing that they want or that they decided on? And I did really have to work through this, because there was a part of me that was terrified. And I said, you know what? Let's do this. Let's decide. So there were two decisions that I made that day. One, I decided that one of our businesses is going to fully cover its own expenses, starting now, right? Starting this month. All of their expenses, all the expenses for this business are going to be covered by the orders that come in through one of our businesses. Decided that. And my goodness, the request for quotes has increased a whole lot since that decision. I've sent out several $1,000s worth of quotes and invoices since that decision. So that was really cool. The second decision I made was for my coaching business to make X amount of dollars a month, minimum. Okay? That really forced me to show up. To show the beep, 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 beep up, right? It forced me to get uncomfortable and sit with myself. But what it also did was it unlocked this beautiful part of me where I was like, you know what? We're doing this. We're going all in. We have decided that this is going to be the thing. Yes, I am recording this on February 17th, which, oh, by the way, is supposed to be the start of the astrological fire horse year. If you don't follow that, that's fine. I did notice the energy was shifting a little bit today, but that's, again, if you don't notice it, not the end of the world. And so while it is the 17th and we still have 11 days left in the month, there is an income goal for this month, but it won't be an income goal that I beat myself up over. It's a very different energy moving into this decision. Because when you notice the verse, what you decide on will be done, it doesn't say will be done according to your time frame. It doesn't say will be done next week. It doesn't actually tell you when it's going to be done. It just says it will be done. And then you have to show up and trust. So you decide, you move forward with the light that's shining on your ways, knowing that what you decide will actually be done. It's a very interesting perspective, and I freaking love it because I have proof that this is actually true. This has been tested in my life. The decisions that I have made have come to fruition. So then the only question remains is, why are you afraid of making a decision? To which I had to coach myself through that and then make a decision. But this is literally a guarantee in life where there are no guarantees, right? People will tell you the only guarantees in life are death and taxes. They clearly haven't read the Bible. That's a good one. I might use that or something later this week, right? Literally says guaranteed. You decide and it will be done. What you decide on will be done. So what are you deciding? And if you're not deciding it, why are you holding back from deciding? And it's okay to be honest with yourself. Maybe you don't really want the thing. Right? Like I've had this conversation with my kids. It's okay if you really don't want to do that thing. But don't tell me that that's what you want and then not decide it. Just don't be wishy-washy about it. Either do it or don't, right? There's a saying, either shit or get off the pot. What you decide on will be done. A light will shine on your ways. That's so much gold in just that little thing. I freaking love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I really want to encourage you. Sit down, have a conversation with yourself. Where are you not making a decision? And if you're not making the decision, be honest. Is that even something that you really want? I'll be honest. I haven't decided on I haven't decided on a triathlon this year. I am doing a hydrox race with a girlfriend, but I haven't decided on a triathlon race because I really don't know if I want to do one this year. I mean, it would be nice to do a triathlon race this year. But it's not something I've decided yet because I don't know that I truly want to do it. Just sounds like a good idea. And it's okay to have those, but just be honest with yourself about it. Honesty is the best policy. All right, so I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you are new to my world, welcome, welcome, welcome. I feel like we're just getting started. So subscribe, share, do all the things. If you loved this episode, please, I would love, love, love if you would share it. If you are new to my world, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And if you are interested in working with me, I do have spots available for private coaching. Also, at the time of this going live, I am in the middle of launching Essence, which is one of my core programs. It is about remembering who you are. And I love that program so much. I ran it for the first time a couple years ago, and I just felt called. It is time to run it again. And so that program is $888 and we'll be starting on February 22nd. So if you are interested in that, you can reach out to me. You can send me an email. Find me on Instagram, StephanieSnyderPhD.com. On Instagram, Stephanie Snyder PhD. Website, StephanieSnyderPhD.com. You can reach out to me, find me all the ways. If that's something that you're interested in. It is also available on my website. You can sign up right there from the website as well. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. And as always, Be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye.